Franklin County in south central Pennsylvania. The government shutdown drags on as of today. It's in its 9th day. Wall Street, Dow futures down 5 points. More details, srnnews.com.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But what if you could get both? Why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. And we know this from research of members. There's a lot they like about MediShare, but especially they love being part of something they believe in. And MediShare works too. It has for more than 30 years. There are hundreds of thousands of members who love having telehealth if they need it. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or you're part of the gig economy or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tech Tiger basketball, the Denver Broncos, as well as the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. You're listening to Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, and NWKS radio station. It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash, or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Coming to you with NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. On Tuesday night, Colby held a city council meeting mainly regarding the progress of the Star Bond project, which could potentially add more businesses, including a new multi-purpose arena to Colby, among other things. So a motion was approved for the city to approve the Star Bond project plan. It was done after the state approved the project. There were a couple other ordinances approved, including 1697, which related to creating a community improvement district within the Star Bond district, and a couple ordinances regarding bond money for the purpose of new hotels in Colby, Kansas. For these stories and more area news, go to nwksradio.net for more.
This morning, there will be some fog developing in the Three Corners area, and a dense fog advisory will be in place for Rawlins, Thomas, Sherman, Cheyenne counties in Kansas, Dundee, and Hitchcock in Nebraska, and Yuma and Kit Carson in Colorado until 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Central Time. This afternoon, skies will clear out west, and highs will warm 80 to 85 with light southwesterly to northwesterly winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies and lows will be around 50 with a light northeast breeze at 0 to 10. Tomorrow, some clouds, but still warm with highs around 80. Southeasterly winds will get breezier at 10 to 20, gusting to 25 miles per hour. And overnight, with mostly cloudy skies and those breezy southeast winds, lows will be warm in the mid to upper 50s. Saturday will warm into low 80s ahead of a late afternoon and evening cold front that will lead to gusty 25 to 45 mile an hour winds. Not expecting any moisture. Sunday's highs 70 to 75. This meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Do you want to be part of the biggest holiday marketplace in the tri-state area? Sign up today to be a vendor at the NWKS Radio Christmas Marketplace, November 28th, 29th, and 30th. If you have a hometown-based business or like to sew, cook, make jewelry, or craft, this is the perfect place for you. Sign up today at nwksradio.net before the spots are gone. Again, that's nwksradio.net.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, Who you going to call? Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink, literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When duty calls, they answer.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash or 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
You ready? One, two, three, four! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon, the crossover back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Bolden loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
Pete Crow Armstrong delivers with a base hit to right. That'll score 2, and the Cubs have the lead in Game 3.
Quick, and now 2 more.
Baez, first playoff home run in 8 years, has put Detroit on top by 4. Gray gets it in. Wilson on the drive. The feed. You bet! You bet! Asia Wilson with .1 to go.
Major story. Uh-oh. Schwarber gonna send one way out of here. How far will it fly? There it is! The Toronto Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the championship series.
And good Thursday morning, everybody. We're off and rolling here on this at least in Goodland it is, super foggy, kind of damp. Is it the same way over in Colby this morning?
It's a little gloomy out here, a little foggy.
Little gloomy. Well, it's very foggy here. I always judge it by, can I see the water tower, which is, I don't know, less than a quarter of a mile, maybe a quarter of a mile away at most. And I can't see it at this point in time. So it is, I can see the railroad tracks and kind of the starting of the street next across the railroad tracks to the north, but I cannot see the Goodland water tower out my north window here. So Yeah, it's you don't know this, but back in the old studios, I did not have a window. It was just a cubicle. There were no windows besides a window that looked out into the hallway to let people know, like if you had a guest or something like that. Otherwise, there was no windows, so it could have been blizzarding for all I know. And
I
I
have no clue.
Nope, no clue whatsoever. So a funny story for our listeners. So yesterday was an exciting and interesting day because for the first time ever, Ross Volkmer and Connor Schuh met each other in person.
After what, 2 months?
Well, we introduced ourselves back in interview process, in like July?
Yeah, that's
so if you go back to
true.
July,
jeez.
So we had not met each other in person until yesterday. So it was kind of interesting. Think about hosting a radio show with someone or co-hosting a radio show with someone, and you've never met the person in real life, just on the video screen. So yesterday was an interesting day. I will say this: Connor was bigger than I thought he was. You're a big guy. You're what? Are you 6'3"
I told you.
4?
I think 6'3". I haven't really measured myself in
You
a
look
while.
tall. He's a taller guy. For those who haven't seen, he's a taller individual. Now, I'm not saying I am the picture of height. That is not what I am saying here. But Connor is a taller individual, and those weight room and 6 eggs are working well. He's got some bulk on him here. So you
Put
would
me on the line.
We were joking about that. Yes, a couple days ago, you would be on the line at one of our schools here. Connor Schuh wearing number 77 at left tackle. That would be you. You'd be out there. So
throwing dudes around. I think.
I believe that you actually could throw some dudes around at your size. So anyway, interesting story yesterday from the world of NWKS radio is that Ross and Connor finally met in person. And now we will continue to do what we usually do every day, talk to you about sports here on this Morning Blitz edition. We'll get to the NFL Power 5 today. We've got Shreyas Laddha coming up from the Kansas City Star. We'll talk to Kansas Jayhawks as they have a tall task ahead of them this weekend, taking on Texas Tech, the proverbial favorite in the Big 12 at this point in time. We will get to some news surrounding betting for college athletes. What a different time of the world we live in than just a few years ago. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
All that coming up here in the program. Did you watch a lot of baseball last night?
I watched some because once we got home from the holiday greetings, it was probably like 5:45, and I got to the gym, and I don't think I got back.
Oh, you made it.
I did somehow. It was
good for you. Way to go.
But I didn't really get home until like 7:30. So then I'm making dinner, and then I finally sit down, and it's like 8:30. So I caught the end of the Yankees Blue Jays game, and of course, as David Ortiz says, the Yankees lose, and they're out of the playoffs. And I caught a little bit of the Phillies game. And
he has so much fun being sandwiched between those two Yankees on the desk. Did you see him post game after they lost?
Yes.
He's handing out the sombreros. Join me in Cancun.
And he got Vladdy on the broadcast to say the Yankees lose.
So
that was great.
So anyway, yes, the Yankees are eliminated from the postseason. I'm a little bit surprised the Blue Jays got it done once again. They went bullpen day. I think they threw 7-8 different pitchers.
Yeah.
It was impressive. So they went Johnny Holstaff on them and were able to get the win last night, 5-2. The Phillies stay alive, 8-2 behind my boy, Kyle Schwarber, with that unbelievable power. 2 home runs from him. The Cubs score 4 innings in the first, and they hold on to win 4-3. And the Tigers, alive still. 9-3 winners over the Mariners. And, oh, boy, there's going to be a lot of butt cheeks clenched tightly in Seattle for Game 5 because you were up, and now it's getting interesting. So that's been a great series. That's been a back and forth series, obviously. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. That's been a great series. We'll see what the other two between the Cubs and the Brewers and the Dodgers and Phillies look like. There will be Dodgers, Phillies tonight, Brewers, Cubs tonight as well. And then Friday is when the Tigers, Mariners resume that series, Game 5. Back up in Seattle. So update from Major League Baseball. But also last night, Colby Community College volleyball remains unbeaten. They beat Cloud County last night in a sweep, 25-22, 25-17, 25-11. Now 10-0 in the Jayhawk Conference, 18-4 overall. They have got Hutch coming up here on Saturday, but we're all just kind of counting down the days until we get to that Barton rematch in Barton. That's going to be the the big one for you there. So anyway, we got lots to get to in today's program. As always, the F&B Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. Listener Michael talking about last night. The puck dropped last night for his Bruins. Got the dub over the Capitals. So go Bruins. That's right. Hockey. Are you a Blue Jackets guy? Do you follow hockey?
I should be following hockey a little bit more, but if I had to pick an allegiance, I'd pick the Jackets. I've been to a game before, so
okay. See, I am not a huge hockey fan, but my team was the Phoenix Coyotes, and they no longer exist. They're now I think they're now the Winnipeg Jets. I think is where they went to. So yeah, or either that or the Utah Mammoth. I can't keep track of it, but
oh yeah, Utah. I forgot about that.
The
Utah
Mammoth
Hockey Club,
the Mammoth. By the way, there was a great. They were doing a deal for the Utah. I think it was the Utah Mammoth. I think it was either them or the Seattle Kraken. Anyway, they were doing a promo video here a couple of months or a month or so back. They were doing it up in Alaska, and they were doing it in a river, trying to kind of promote something anyway. And so the mascot was out there in full mascot, and he's out there in the river trying to do this little skit thing. All of a sudden, here comes a bear.
Of course. Jeez.
Here comes the bear. Everyone get running. We got to get out of the way. Don't mess with this. So,
jeez.
Anyway, yeah, I know that the NHL is the Seattle Kraken, bear incident there. Jared wants to know, Jared L. We have a Jared L and a Jared H. He wants to know how I cannot be a hockey fan. I do like hockey. I'm not saying I don't like the sport. I just don't really have a team that I follow religiously, I guess is the best way to put it. So anyway, we got to get to our opening segment. It's time for the NFL Power 5. It kicks off tonight. Week number 6 does with the Eagles and the Giants. So let's get to it. So I don't know. This slate to me isn't great. It's okay.
Yeah.
So I'll let you lead off with what you have first.
First, my honorable mention game, the Browns at the Steelers. That's a very deep rivalry right there.
Very deep, yes.
And that's going to be a little defensive slugfest, if you will, I think. That's going to be a very low-scoring game. You could see a little 13-10, 13-7. Wouldn't be very surprised by that. But number 5, Dallas at Carolina. It's a bit of an unorthodox one, but again, it's not the greatest slate. But Dallas, they've been scoring points. Dak has been unreal, even without CeeDee Lamb. Him and George Pickens seem to have a pretty nice connection, and you saw some of the throws he made last week. You'd be pretty confident about how they're going to be for the rest of the season. And then Carolina had a nice week last week getting the Dolphins, and they were missing their starting running back. So a fella by the name of Rico Dowdle, who rushed for 1,000 yards with the Cowboys last year, came out in his first start of the season for the Panthers and rushed for 200 yards. Can he do it again against the Cowboys? Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be crazy if that were to happen. My honorable mention game, I'm going with one of the. I love a good toilet bowl game. I don't know why. I love to see pain, but apparently Tennessee at Las Vegas. Both teams are 1-4. Someone's going to get their second. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. It could end in a tie, I guess, but one would assume that
we've already seen one.
Yeah, someone's going to get their second win. Who will it be? Will it be two of the top picks in the draft this previous year? Will it be the quarterback for Tennessee? Well, I can't think of his last name. Let's say Cam Little, but it's not Cam Little.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, thank you. Cam Ward, or will it be Ashton Jeanty, the running back for the Raiders? Who gets that second win in that matchup of two smelly teams in the AFC? My number 5 game, Bengals at Packers. Reason why, there's only really one reason why this game is intriguing to me, is that I read that Joe Flacco, who was just traded yesterday, or was it, on Tuesday? Yes, he was traded on Tuesday. He's going to start with 3 or 4 days of practice under his belt. He's going to start for the Bengals. That's unbelievable. So I almost want to see this monster. I want to see this Titanic sink, because it can't be good. No. I can't be good. A guy going in there not knowing the system and starting after just 3 days of practice against the Packers defense, which features some very good players like Micah Parsons. Good luck, Joe. Good luck. Bengals at Packers, my number 5 here on the NFL Power 5. All right, moving on to number 4.
All right, my 4 is Chicago at Washington, the battle of two young quarterbacks who came into the league last season and both had good rookie years. One of them much more lauded than the other, Jaden Daniels. I mean, he brought his team to the playoffs, so it makes sense. And he just got healthy again. He's back for this Bears game after playing last week against the Chargers and beating them handily. So he's rolling. The Commanders are rolling. And Daniels and the young running back, Bill Krosky Merritt or Ja'Cory, whatever you want to call him. Seems like you hear
the law firm.
The law firm. Yes. You hear a different name for him every week. If it's Ja'Cory or Bill, regardless, he's great. And the Commanders have a lot of fun pieces. Terry McLaurin is coming back from injury this game. Debo Samuel's been having a heck of a year. So a lot of fun stuff on their side. And for the Bears, it's been a little meh, 2-2 so far this year, coming off the bye week. But Caleb Williams is a lot of fun to watch, and I like watching him play and going to duel it out with Jaden Daniels and a solid receiving core with Rome Odunze, the second-year guy, kind of leading things for them.
He has looked good. Rome Odunze has here early on. My number 4, across the country matchup. Seattle flying all the way to the opposite corner of the United States to take on Jacksonville. You know the Seahawks have lost 3 games this year by a combined total of 10 points. 2 3-point losses and a 4-point loss. They've not lost by very much. They've been very good. Their defense is very stout. It'll be a great test for this Jags offense, which I think has looked okay. They're 4-1 are the Jags, by the way. Do you know the last time the Jaguars started 4-1?
Was it the Saxonville year?
Maybe. I don't know what year that was. I just know it was
16.
It was 2007, I believe, was the last.
Oh, wow. Okay.
4-1.
Jeez.
2007. Best start since my freshman year of college is how long it's been since the Jags are 4-1. They're 4-1. Seahawks have lost 3 games by 10 total points. Interesting. Can Trevor Lawrence do it again? I'm fascinated to watch Trevor Lawrence. I think he is the most untapped potential quarterback, if there is such a phrase ever used in the NFL. The guy has got so much potential if they could just dig it out of him. We've seen bits and pieces of it throughout his career. Going to just become more consistent. He'll have a tough time against that Seattle defense, but I think it's a good game. Seattle at Jacksonville, my number 4. All right, on to the top 3.
I think we're on the same wavelength here because that exact game is my number 3. You said it. The Seahawks have a really solid defense and are coming off that really tough loss to the Bucs, 38-35. They had an opportunity to pretty much seal that one, and go down the field. But Sam Darnold, after having such a great game, just threw a back-breaking pick, and the Bucs were able to drive down and kick that game-winning field goal. But they're out for blood this week, and so are the Jags. I mean, they just beat the Chiefs last week, and who knows? Maybe the Chiefs aren't so great this year. Sorry, everyone, but
we'll see.
It's not looking too good.
It's not looked good through 5 weeks. That's for sure.
And the Jags seem like they might be the real deal, especially on the defensive side of the football. And you said it, Trevor Lawrence has a little bit of untapped potential, even in year 5. I mean, he's still a young guy.
Still only 26. I mean, God, he's so young.
He is. But Jacksonville, a top 10 offense and defense in terms of points per game, 10th in points per game with 25.4 scored, and 8th in points allowed with 20. Great defense. And Trevor Lawrence is a competitor. I mean, he didn't have the prettiest game last week, but that touchdown at the end to win the game was just, it was crazy. And it was, it was pretty gritty. And that's what I liked about it. And this is going to be a gritty matchup, I think.
My number 3 game, I'm going to San Francisco at Tampa Bay. The Niners at the Bucs. Hopefully the Buccaneers stick with those old school uniforms. That was so awesome yesterday or last, 2 weeks ago or last week where they had where they took on Seattle and they wore the old throwbacks. I think it was last week, wasn't it?
Last week.
Yeah, those were great. I love those old creamsicle uniforms. Hope they stick with those. Both teams, by the way, are kind of a sneaky 4-1. San Francisco and Tampa Bay both 4-1 and feature 2 of the best passing offenses in the league, which is surprising a little bit. The San Francisco's done it with 2 quarterbacks. Purdy's been hurt, and Mac Jones he's been playing through injury, but he's been playing very well. But they have the number 1 passing offense in the NFL, I believe. My stats are correct, but San Francisco's been really, really good. 2 of the better passing offenses in the league. Tampa Bay's up there as well in the top 10 in their passing offense, led by Baker Mayfield, who's having, let's face it, folks, an MVP type season. Baker's been great.
Come on.
And I'm pulling for the guy. I would love to see Baker get the MVP. Good for him. But two great offenses, two good teams at 4-1. Someone's going to end up in this game 5-1, barring a tie. But, someone's going to end up 5-1 and be in a really good spot, a third of the way through this football season. So San Francisco, Tampa Bay, now number 3 here in our NFL Power 5.
And I'll be keeping it there. So San Fran, Tampa, you said it. I'm also there for the Baker Mayfield MVP campaign. 10 touchdowns to only 1 interception, 1,200 passing yards, and a 4-1 record for him.
How about your boy Emeka Egbuka?
Whew. He's so good. I mean, you know what? They do it a little bit differently at the Ohio State University. And Emeka Egbuka, the number 2 receiver on his team in college, comes in, and now he is the guy with Tampa. And of course, Mike Evans, I think, is coming back this week. So it's going to cut into his targets a little bit, but he's still going to produce big. And him and Baker together is must-see TV. And another interesting stat for Baker here. He leads the league already with 4 fourth-quarter comebacks in game-winning drives for his 4 wins.
Nice. Great stat.
That's a lot of fun. And on the other side, I'm looking at Mac Jones. Is there a quarterback controversy? I don't know, but I would prefer to see Mac Jones start long-term over Brock Purdy at this point. He's certainly played better. 6 touchdowns to 1 pick through 3 games compared to 4-4 for Brock Purdy. Jones is throwing for 300 yards a game right now.
You can't do that if you're San Francisco. You just cut a massive check. There's no way you can do that.
I know. It's a pipe dream, but I'm hoping for it. And you were correct. They do have the top passing offense in football, 1,450 total passing yards through their 5 games so far. And they're just doing it right now. I mean, they're kind of hanging on by the skin of their teeth for a few of these wins, just like the Buccaneers are. So I think that's going to make for a close football game, and there's going to be a lot of points.
I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see Mac Jones get hurt, so then Adrian Martinez, former Nebraska cornerback and Kansas State Wildcat quarterback, has to get in. That's what I want to see.
It came real close to happening last week. Did you see the look on his face when Jones came back out there? He was pretty relieved.
Like, I just got signed to the real roster. I don't need to get thrown out there. Welcome to the show, amigo. I don't know. Adrian Martinez has made more of a pro career than I thought he would. So I will give him props.
He was in the UFL, right?
UFL, did well there. He was with the Jets. I got cut from the Jets after I thought was a pretty good preseason for the Jets. I think it was last year he did that. So he's got some skills. I would love to see that for him. That's for sure. My number 2 game is another game we already talked about. Chicago at Washington. I love everything you said about it. 2 really good young quarterbacks. Daniels, 2 really good offenses. I think these are 2 underappreciated teams. The Bears really haven't earned the appreciation because they haven't done it consistently, but I think they have the pieces to be good if they could put it together. Washington has already kind of put it together last year, and they're trying to build upon that. But the biggest reason why I say this game is, remember what happened the last time these 2 teams met?
The Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary in Washington for the win.
I will say, let me interject.
Remember the defensive back for the Bears trash talking the fans
Tyreek Stevenson
on the Hail Mary.
I have to tell a quick story. So last year, lived with a couple of my best friends at school, and one of them is a diehard Bears fan. He's from near Chicago, and we're watching that game, and that happens, and that dude just crumpled to the floor, and we didn't hear from him for another 5 hours, I think, after the game. He was livid.
Yeah, that's great. And the top game in the NFL Power 5 this week, I think it's pretty obvious. Sunday Night Football is Detroit at Kansas City. I think we both have that.
Yes.
Number 1. What are your reasonings for it?
Well, I grappled with this one because I kind of thought like maybe KC's like not quite the team to deserve this top spot with Detroit with how they've played lately, but I think they're going to pull out some magic and they're going to keep this one close. with Detroit, who's been explosive, and they kind of came close to giving it away last week against the Bengals. Jake Browning was mounting a little bit of a comeback there late, but the Lions are still the Lions, and they have one of the most explosive offenses in football. And despite how they've played lately, the Chiefs still have one of the best defenses in football. And you can never really count out Mahomes. And you're always going to hang your hat in a matchup like this. Detroit KC, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, this game, first and foremost, they met in the season opener a couple years ago, and it was a classic, like 21-20, the win for Kansas City. If both teams play to their potential, it should be a great one. I mean, the great balanced offense of the Lions against that great Spags defense of the Chiefs is a phenomenal storyline to watch. And then, there's the Chiefs offense. I don't care what you say. With number 15 under center, it's going to click at some point in time. I just would be shocked if it doesn't. It's going to click, and it's going to be hard to do it against a solid Detroit defense. But I don't know. I like this game. This was my Super Bowl pick. Like when the season began, I said I think it's going to be Detroit and Kansas City. That is my Super Bowl pick. I'm not feeling very good about it right now based upon what I've seen out of Kansas City. And I didn't feel good about it after week 1 when Detroit got their pants beaten off by the Packers. But both of these teams have the potential to be elite football teams. And if they show up on Sunday Night Football with that atmosphere in Kansas City, I think it's going to make for a really, really good football game. I still think it's going to be a close game, and I think it is no doubt the best game of this Week 6 slate in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. The NFL Power 5 here in week number 6. The season is flying by, as it always does in the fall. There is no faster time, I don't think, than in the fall. I don't know why. I think it's because did you know that we're now in the midst of a great portion of our lives? Do you know that starting on yesterday, it was the first day. It's the first day of like consecutive football games on television until like mid-November. It's like almost 40 some days.
Yeah, because we'll get Tuesday night. I was looking ahead in the schedule, but not
Maction's coming up, baby. Or not it's not Maction, it's other stuff.
Now it's like what is it? Like Sunbelt action, which doesn't really roll off the tongue like Maction.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue like Maction. But yeah, football every single night now until pretty much the end of November. So it's a great time to be alive. What can I say? All right, 7:33 Mountain, 8:30, now 8:34 Central Time, as it just changed over here on a Thursday, October the 9th. Going to be a warm one today. The temperature, the weather outside doesn't look like it. It's going to be 81 today, but it is overcast, foggy in some areas, so be careful out there driving and a little cool. But warmer temperatures will come here this afternoon. We'll take a break, come back. We're going to talk Kansas football with Shreyas Lada, our good friend from the Kansas City Star. That's next here on the Morning Blitz.
When fraud strikes, every second counts. At FNB Bank, we take your security seriously. Our local team monitors for suspicious activity and responds fast, so small issues don't turn into bigger problems. I'm Jessica Von Little at FNB Bank. We are your first line of defense, protecting you, your money, and your peace of mind. FNB Bank, local, trusted, here for you. Member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Tyler Ghosh with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas. Get your morning market update. It is Thursday, October the 9th. Overnight sessions have commodities set to open lower. December corn down half a cent at 421.5. To March is down 3/4 of a cent at 437, and the May is down a penny at 445 1/4. Beans on the Nove are down 5 3/4 at 1023 3/4. The Jan is down 5 1/4 at 1039, and the March is down 5 cents at 1052 1/4. Kansas City wheat in the Beef is up 3 1/4 at 496.5. The March is up 2 1/4 at 517 1/4, and the May is up 2 1/4 at 532. Chicago wheat in the Beef is up 4 cents at 511 1/4. The March is up 2 3/4 at 528, and the May is up 2 1/4 at 540. S&P 500 is up 4 points at 6,805. The Dow is down 8 points at 46,859. NASDAQ up 1 point at 25,332. Crude oil is up 7 cents a barrel at $62.62. Gold is up $1.90 an ounce at $4,072, and silver is up 66 cents an ounce at $49.66. If you have any cash grain you'd like to move or want to learn more about our freedom pricing tools, reach out and give us a call. You can reach myself, Tyler Ghost, Jared Law, or Tom Saludo at 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, give John Hanke or John Stiles a call at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
When you're an expert on soil and crops, you're a soil scientist. When you're an expert on the weather, you're a meteorologist. And when you're an expert on soybeans, you are an Asgrow farmer. Like you, Asgrow brand is relentlessly focused on soybeans with localized products featuring leading genetics and weed management systems. It all works together to give you maximum profit potential. Visit Asgrow.com. It's all about the beans. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. For some farmers, soybeans are on their mind 24/7. If you're all about the
Quick hits, bold takes, and all the action.
I'll take that action.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz.
Well, these temperatures outside are starting to feel a little bit more like fall. And I want to remind folks that coming up Wednesday, November the 5th, is Fall Cleanup Day here in Goodland. This is for elderly citizens. So if you are an elderly citizen, not to call you old, or, if you know someone who is, sign up by calling the Goodland Junior Senior High School at 890-5656. Students from the high school is going to come rake your lawn, clean up the yard a little bit. So yes, once again, they will do that. They will not pick up tree branches or any other items, but if you want to get those leaves raked up, get that stuff out of the lawn, Goodland High School, junior, senior high schoolers would like to help you out there. It's Fall Cleanup Day coming up Wednesday, November 5th. Connie Livengood, of course, head girls golf coach, is one of the ones that is in charge of that. So she'll be around with that crew. So keep them in mind as these fall temperatures continue. We welcome into the program our good friend from the Kansas City Star, Shreyas Laddha, joins us now. Shreyas, good morning. How are we doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks again for joining us on the program today. Really do appreciate you taking some time. Tell you, it's been an interesting football season this far for the Kansas Jayhawks. I mean, if I would have told you that they were going to be 4-2 at this point in time in the season, with a loss to what is a top 15 Missouri team and a Cincinnati team that is surging with only a single loss to their record, what would you say about that?
I mean, I'd say not knowing any context outside of it, I mean, that's pretty good, right? But I think with the context we know, it's a little disappointing in that same sense.
How so is it disappointing in your eyes?
I mean, Jalen Daniels is having a top 7, top 10 quarterback season in college football right now. 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, almost 1,500 yards. I mean, Kansas is not going to have a quarterback have a season like this probably for a long time. They had a winnable game in Cincinnati that they probably should have won that they lost. And, the Missouri game, they're up 21-6. Yes, they were outgained, I think, 2-1 there. And time of possession was also almost 2-1. But when you look at it, 4-2 is great. But with how good Jalen Daniels has been, 5-1, 6-0, would probably be closer to what I would have guessed if you had told me his stats would be this before the season started.
Shreyas, what's up, man? This is Connor, Ross's new co-host.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. So kind of on that similar note, when you have a quarterback having the season like Jalen Daniels is having right now for a school like KU, how important is it to take advantage of that and have the best season you can, I guess, in simple terms?
It's huge, right? Like, this is not, I mean, I think it's important to remember perspective. I've seen fans on social media excited about Isaiah Marshall, Cole Ballard, Jim McCall. These are all good players, good quarterbacks. They're going to be fun to watch in the future to see who wins that battle next year. But the reality of the situation is, I don't know when Kansas will have a season this good from a quarterback in a long time. This is not Alabama. This is not Georgia. This is Kansas, to remember. They haven't had quarterback play this good since Todd Reesing in 2008, and he was the best quarterback Kansas has ever had. It's super important because last year I think Kansas was better than his record showed, and they lost a bunch of one-score games and went 5-7. This year, at the bare minimum, you need to probably make a pretty good bowl game. If you can contend for the Big 12 title, that'd be fantastic. But you don't want to take something like this for granted. Jalen Daniels is doing something super special this year, especially with a running game that's been up and down. A defense has been not fantastic, to say the least. And he's put a lot on his shoulders, and he's delivered. I mean, after a rough year last year, I think no one quite expected him to be this good. I thought he would be good, but this is, top 10 QB in the nation good. Guy who would get Heisman looks if Kansas was 6-0 type good.
Shreyas Lott is our guest, the Kansas beat reporter for the Kansas City Star. One of the reasons why he's having a great year is he's got a top threat in Emmanuel Henderson. Would you say he has lived up to expectations?
100%. He's been fantastic. I mean, he's electric anytime he gets the ball. The amount of times he's turned what seems like a 10, 15-yard gain into a 45-plus yard gain or a touchdown or whatever has been insane. I talked about him, I think, with you before the season started of how exciting I think Emmanuel Henderson can be. I think he's been better than expected. I mean, everyone raved about him all fall camp, basically, all spring ball as well. And I see it, this is a guy that looks like he could play on Sundays. And Jalen has not had that at wide receiver since I've been on the Kansas beat. I joined about in 2022, right at the end of the season there. And no disrespect to the guys he's had. The guys he's had are good. But Emmanuel Henderson was clearly a 4-star coming out of high school, and you could see that in his play on the field and his overall ceiling.
Once again, Emmanuel Henderson, almost 500 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns at this point in time in the season. Going into the year, Shreyas, I think we thought, at least offensively, they would have a good 1-2 punch in the backfield with LeSean Williams and Daniel Highshot Jr. But injuries have kind of plagued Daniel Highshot Jr., and now they've also caught up to the tight end Deshaun Hanukkah. How much are injuries going to impact this football team going forward?
Well, I mean, you want Daniel Highshot out there because there's a clear lack of trust in the running game. You can see it the last 2 games. That's where you have the Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall packages. I mean, obviously they're trying to limit the hits on Jalen Daniels. But, they're not really using another running back outside of LeSean Williams much. Johnny Thompson, for example, is not getting a ton of carries. They desperately need Highshot back just because I think it makes the running game a lot better. But also, it just hasn't been as good as expected in that sense. And obviously, Deshaun Hanukkah, big loss because he's a good player. Him and Bodie Groen were the 2 pass catchers out of the 4 tight ends that Kansas uses. So now it's on the other guys to step up. And the tight ends have been pretty good this year for KU after having a year where they weren't really heavily featured in the offense like they used to be under Cole Mickey.
Shreyas, I'm curious about the defense. Going into the year, I think you had said to me that you thought this could be the best, or someone told me they thought this might be the best. I might have even been Brian Haney, the voice of the Jayhawks, said it could have been the best defensive line that Kansas has had in some time. And at times they've looked decent, at other times not. They're the 44th ranked defense, I think, in the country at this point in time. But your thoughts on this Kansas defense, and do they have enough to help them achieve these goals that you keep talking about?
I mean, I think in a sense it's a very thin line, right? Like when McGolley came back, their defense looked completely different. But that being said, UCF doesn't have a quarterback who can throw the ball. Like, if you've noticed anything in the theme of these losses that they've had, if you have a good quarterback, Kansas seems to be in a little bit of trouble. Ones that can sit in the pocket and pick them apart. The linebackers are young, and Bengali, Kamara, Jonathan Kamara, all these guys are great, but they're young. And the secondary is young. There's no Kobe Bryant or Melo Dotson, so it feels like there's a lot of pressure on the defensive line to get sacks and stop the runs if they happen. I think sometimes I've noticed with this defense, they'd rather do, be like dinked and dunked to death, or like give up the the smaller 5-10 chunk yard plays or whatever than have a home run ball on them. And that's why it's a very bend don't break defense. And I think that's why you see a little bit of a soft zone at times from the defense, just because the corners are not on top of the wide receivers. I mean, they're giving them some cushion to kind of prevent big play. I think the defense is always going to be a question mark for me. I think, they have a decent amount of quarterbacks they're playing that are pretty good, that can pass the ball the rest of the way. I think they'll be good enough just because, Jalen can keep up in a shootout. But right now, I haven't seen anything from the defense that gives me a ton of confidence that, hey, they are up to the standard that Kansas needs to compete for a Big 12 championship or to compete for a high-end bowl game.
I feel like as if the linebacker crew has been kind of a little bit of a surprise, has been pretty decent. What do you think on them?
Yeah, I've been impressed. Bengali's probably the most important player. Trey Lathan as well. I'm like, those guys have been really, really, really good. It's the secondary to me that I think is so young, has made some mistakes. And I think the defensive line has been, like you said, a little inconsistent in getting to the quarterback. But the linebacker group, when healthy, is I think probably the best part of the defense.
Shreyas Lotta continue to be our guest here, KU beat reporter for the Kansas City Star here on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. A tall task here this upcoming Saturday, playing down at Texas Tech. What kind of game do you expect to see?
Well, that is a tough question. Honestly, I had no idea. I think, there's there's two thoughts of process. Kansas is in this game enough where there's a fighting chance, like they're within 10 at the fourth quarter time, and Kansas has a chance there to be competitive / somehow win the game. I think that could happen. And then there's another one where Kansas gets their, the roof blown off them. Texas Tech is so talented every part of the ball. They're playing homecoming, new uniforms, new gimmicks, new everything, new logo, all that. So it's really hard for me to see which Kansas team shows up. I know this. If Kansas plays like they did in the first half against UCF, Texas Tech is going to blow them out. You just can't play that level that they did in the first half. If they look like they did in the second half, I think it has a chance to be a competitive game. One of the most interesting things is I think in the Lance Leipold era, they've done well to cover the spread against ranked teams, ranked top 10 teams or top 15 teams. That said, I think Jalen can handle his own on the offense. But the defense, to me, encountering the 48-point per game Red Raider offense just does not give me a lot of confidence. I just need to see it before I sit there and say, I think the defense can limit them to 35 or something instead of 48 and give Kansas the chance to win the game. They're going to have to be fortunate, I think, in some things like time of possession, the turnover battle. They're going to have to get some breaks. And even then, I think, Texas Tech is just so talented. Kansas has to be nearly flawless to come out with a victory in this game.
Knowing what we know after the first half of the season in the Big 12 and what lies ahead, how challenging is the next 6 games here for KU?
Well, I think after this game, Kansas should be favored in a decent amount of the games. They'll be favored against K-State. They'll be favored against, I think Arizona. I think they'll be favored against, it'll be probably a push against Utah. You can go either way. The Iowa State, yes, it's a good team, but historically Kansas had their number. They've won 3 straight against them. I think Oklahoma State they play, they'll win that one easily. I think the schedule opens up a little bit in the sense because I think, the Big 12 isn't as formidable as we thought they were, as we thought the conference was before the season started. And teams that, maybe were supposed to be on the top end of the conference, like K-State, are just not there yet. But, I think there's a chance for Kansas to go on a run a little bit.
He is Shreyas Laddha, Kansas City Star and KU Beat reporter. Thank you, Shreyas, for the time. I always appreciate my friend. Are you headed down to Lubbock?
Yeah, leaving tomorrow night. I'll be there.
Well, watch out for those flying tortillas, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Shreyas. Once again, good stuff there from Shreyas Laddha, our guest here on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. Yeah, KU's got some interesting slate. I said at the beginning of the year, I said a very gettable early part of the season, where I think they probably could have gone 5-1 at best. I think they would have dropped either, knowing what we know, probably one of either the Missouri game or the Cincinnati game from what we know now. So 5-1 at best. They're 4-2. And then you look at the rest of the schedule, it picks up a little bit. I think Arizona's better than we thought. Iowa State's good. I still think Utah's a good football team. Texas Tech, as we know, is considered one of the best teams in the nation at this point in time at number 9. That Kansas State game next week, I think it's next week, might be 2 weeks from now, but that Kansas State game, let's see, when is that?
It is next week.
No, it's not. It's the 25th. There's a bye week in there.
Oh, the week. Oh, yeah.
So it's Texas Tech, then a bye, and then K-State. That game is going to be massive. I mean, that game is so evenly matched. Even saw news that last night that Dylan Edwards is apparently hurt again. He may not be able to play this week. So I'm telling you, that game is going to be so big. And KU's had such a long losing streak to Kansas State. Did the Wildcats have enough to keep that streak going? Or does Jalen Daniels in his senior campaign finally get that monkey off his back? I don't know. There's so many great storylines. I can't wait to talk about that here in a couple weeks. So that'll be fascinating. All right. Thanks again to Shreyas Laddha. We'll take our final timeout, come back real quick with some thoughts on a story that Connor found about betting in college sports for college athletes. We'll get to that next in the Morning Blitz.
As we celebrate 4-H's 123-year history, what makes it so influential? My name is James Marquardt, and after a decade of being involved in 4-H, I believe that the people are the reason why 4-H is so beneficial. Whether it be the local extension agent, the community members, or the project leaders, it is the people that make 4-H worthwhile. So if you see someone who is a 4-H volunteer this week, thank them for the time that they have invested into this great organization.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Mo and Matt and Michaela Cow said M&M Supply continues with deals on Hustler mowers. A good supply with discounts on some closeouts right now. Different models, different sizes, financing available. They'll take your trade-ins. They work on all types of different riding mowers, but they do carry Hustler mowers, Hustler parts. Hustlers made right here in Kansas, USA. They carry cordless DeWalt tools like DeWalt lodge edgers, chainsaws, trimmers, 20 or 60 watt. Yeah, they'll keep on growing, so you keep on mowing at M&M Supply, rural Edson, Kansas.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Wishing things are going to get better with your current fuel supplier will do you about as much good as putting on your glasses so you can hear better. Well, I hope you have your glasses on so you can hear this. Mittens of Oakley. Yep, Mittens of Oakley is the place for on-site delivery of bulk gas, diesel, avgas, jet fuel, DEF, and all types of lubricants. You also need to remember Lucas Running Ruggles on account of he's the guy to call at Mittens for great service when it comes to delivery at a great value. Number 785-672-3062 or go online at mitteninc.com. That's for Mittens of Oakley.
You're listening to the High Plains only local sports talk show.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The Morning Blitz.
One more thought on Kansas before we move on to this, but Shreyas made a little quip in there about, covering the spread. Kansas's last 6 games versus ranked teams, they have covered the spread in all 6, and they've won 4 of them.
Not bad.
So will history repeat itself on Saturday, taking on Texas Tech? We will see. Connor came across a story yesterday, said he wanted to talk about the gambling that is going to, NCAA is getting close to allowing athletes to bet on pro sports, not on their own games, but on pro sports. Like I said when we started the show, the world is just so different than what it was just 5 years ago. It's just so odd. And
yeah,
I don't know. Where does your gut? So where does your gut take you on this?
I hate it. I mean, it seems like there's only really room for bad things to happen here, because also it's not only the athletes, it's also athletic department staff too. So it's like, let's say, like the SID for Kansas football, let's say, could go and bet on pro sports, and who's to say that 5-10 years down the line this doesn't open things up for the officials in Division I athletics to be like, oh, let's just let them bet on college sports too. Why not? I feel like it's a slippery slope, and I'm not a fan.
It's no doubt a slippery slope, and it's very slick at this point in time, and they've slipped and they have slid down a lot already. I think you absolutely have to put a cement barrier wall down it, though. You cannot bet on college stuff, no matter if you're in the department. You cannot do that. If you are affiliated with something in the NCAA or a college athletics, you cannot bet on it. So, I mean, the NFL has those rules. If you're an NFL player, you cannot bet on NFL games, but they can bet on college games, if they want to do that. So I'm sure that's where that line will be drawn. It's just the whole picture is just so different than what it used to be. It used to be you'd get recruited, you'd go there, you'd have to be there for 4 years at least before you could, or 3 years before you could go to the NFL. It used to see guys, start their careers at one spot. Now you're seeing guys that are bouncing around 4 or 5 different programs and are having 6 or 7 years of eligibility, Jalen Daniels and others. It's so different, the gambling thing. Remember when Hunter Decker, it was the quarterback for Iowa State, they had a lot of problems with Iowa athletes betting on stuff. And a lot of guys Hunter Decker got kicked off the football team. Hello, Rocco Becht. He's been great, but
feels like forever ago.
It has been a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, it's just so different, and it's just such a different realm. But you know what? It's not crazy to me. I remember last year, I was visiting with a high school senior who was gambling on NFL and college stuff because he was 18 years old. I mean, it's so these things right here make it so easy. You don't have to call your bookie, I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, go to whatever Underdog, Fantasy, or FanDuel and place your bets. I mean, that's easy. It's super easy anymore, and
it's too easy.
And that's the thing. Things in life, the bad things in life, considered the bad things in life, have become too easy. And so that's why everything is getting allowed. As great as these things are, the cell phone, for those who aren't watching on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream, there's also a lot of problems that come with them. And
just a blessing and a curse.
That's exactly right. A double-edged sword. A double-edged sword. So I know. I just wish we could go back to the days where we were only talking about the play on the field and not having to worry about all the crap that happens off the year with conference realignment and all this kind of stuff. I miss the days of let's just talk about football or basketball or whatever, volleyball, whatever it is. Let's just talk about that.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. But those days are long gone. I am just hoping, as I've said many times before to many people, Connor, is that I'm just hoping they can get the toothpaste, because the toothpaste is all over the countertop, as I've described before. The toothpaste lid came off and everything. It's all over. Can we just get it corralled? Can we get it corralled?
Get it in one spot.
In one spot. And so it's not just everywhere. That's what I would hope to see. And we'll see if that can happen here in the coming years. Hopefully so.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on in New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
So tonight there is a good slate of high school sports happening. You've got Colby hosting a triangle with Goodland and Scott City. He's got a little GWAC try tonight over in Colby. Hoxie is in Trigo, Joaquini Trigo for a triangle with Phillipsburg. St. Francis volleyball hosts Lone Star. Oakley has a try with Heartland Christian Smith Center. Wallace County having a triangular with Golden Plains and Westcombe. It's the Mid-Continent League Cross Country Invitational today, and also a little bit of girls golf. Rollins kind of going down to Garden City. So what did you think of your first sales day with the radio station?
It was tiring, man. I mean, it wasn't as successful as I would have liked it to be, but I can...
He's waiting on those callbacks.
Yeah, I can feel comfortable in the fact that I gave it a good shot and I tried. So
you did good.
I'll take that to the bank.
You should take that money to the bank. That's a good place to put it. So,
yes.
All right, that'll do it for our program today. Thanks to Shreyas Lotta. Thanks as always to you, the listeners. We're back again tomorrow on a Football Friday. Lots to get to. It's Colby and Goodland. It's plenty other good games as well. We'll be discussing tomorrow here on the program. So make sure you tune back in. This has been the Morning Blitz. See ya.
Classic rock